All right, folks, we are now joined by Mike Cronin of the Gloucester Daily Times, a reporter there. How you doing, Mike? Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks. I'm doing well. How are you?
Great. I imagine the last couple of weeks have been pretty crazy your way.
Yeah, we're trying to make do with, everything, all the craziness. I've been, working sometimes a little bit in the office in the mornings and then coming home to do things remotely, but, still keep going,
Yeah.
still working.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you have been speaking closely with emergency personnel around the city and how
Mhm.
they're coping with this. Can you tell us
Yep.
about that?
Yeah. So yesterday I reached out to a couple of the emergency services in Rockport, Essex, Manchester, and Gloucester. I just spoke to, a couple people there at each station about what kind of precautions they're taking. I know that the thing that kind of concerned me the most was there's been reports nationwide of the PPE shortages where the protective like masks, certain garments, robes, and things like that. For the most part, everybody seems to be, uh, you know, well supplied for the near future. But they everybody is still feeling the pinch of as manufacturing is down, uh, worldwide and people are trying their hardest to get their hands on certain things, especially masks. But in Gloucester, the EMS coordinator I spoke with said that people have been just stopping by the fire station and just donating whatever they have, they donating masks, just stopping by. And he said, it's really great to see how the community is coming together and you know showing their support in such a dire time. Well, not too dire, but you know.
That's wonderful. I was really interested, Michael, in the detail in your story that said both the Rockport and the Gloucester departments were well supplied already from the H1N1
Yes, yeah,
and Ebola. So
yeah,
they stocked up on the PPE equipment because of those crises.
yeah.
And
I think it was in again the Gloucester EMS guy said that if I'm remembering the story correctly, sorry, if that one of their firefighters had kind of stocked up, I guess, and it ended up a lot of it not being used. So luckily, they had that in storage, and he was still able to get some additional supplies right before a lot of the stay-at-home measures and shutdowns were kind of taking place. So again, he said, um, I think it was what he said was, you know, not everybody is well supplied, you would say, but they're still chugging along. And um, I think another really important thing that he mentioned was uh, keeping up with the social distancing. It's not so much about uh, protecting. Well, obviously protecting yourself is one reason, but you don't want to make it spread so you would overload these first responders using these PPE masks and robes, things like that, because he already said that they've been going through them quite quickly now, and you know a way for the community to help out and alleviate some of the pressures that they're facing is to just kind of limit social interactions and stay in one spot, make sure you're washing your hands, and so they won't have to continually use up and use up and use up until they might have to keep scourging for more. But so that's something that he wanted to get the word out about in my story.
Did you have any sense, Mike, of the morale throughout the departments? Is the morale still high?
It seemed like it. There hasn't been a lot of people when I was speaking with them, they just seemed really prepared, to take on to adjust their schedules. Like in Manchester, the chief is now alternating schedules. Um, it used to be, I think, 7-hour shifts, 4 times a day, 3 days off. Now it's 12-hour shifts, 7 days, 1 week on, 1 week off.
Mm.
So they're trying to mitigate the amount of exposure that's going around, I guess. So by doing this kind of big shift change. And, everybody seems to be, willing and ready to meet the challenges that are ahead. They all have like a big responsibility, and they're aware of it. So they're willing to, take it head on. And from what I can tell, I mean, they they seem to have a good, grasp on the situation and things like that. Mhm.
You discuss the protocol that the first responders have when they receive a 911 call.
Mhm.
At this time, they have to go through a whole different set of procedures, right?
Yes. Yep. Especially in Gloucester, when they get a call from the regional dispatch, it carries over their information too. So when the first responders are either in the ambulance, in the engine, or anything like that, in the cruisers, one person reaches out when they're en route to check in with the person who called, make sure that if anybody's having symptoms, if anybody's been self-quarantining, things like that, and if so, they got to get ready right on en route to get their equipment on, make sure that they keep safe, healthy distance, well, not distance per se, but to minimize the skin-to-skin contact and things like that. But yeah, they kind of just do it on the fly, from what I can gather, and yeah, it's pretty intense, I would say.
Yeah, right. I mean, when you're just responding to, a kid who, is in his backyard with a broken arm, but you have the whole protocol. Mm-hmm. Is there anyone in the household who may be have symptoms? And yeah, it just is another layer of concern.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what are you working on next?
Well, I was actually reached out in the story. I wasn't able to get in contact with the people in Essex, the Essex fire chief and the police chief, but I actually did get in contact with them this morning. So hopefully, I was looking to do a follow up on what they're doing. I know that town administrator Brendan Zubricki, he said that they're looking into getting the same disinfecting company, that sprays down with the electromagnetic, I think it was the spray.
Mm-hmm.
Electrostatic disinfectant.
Electrostatic, yeah, not magnetic.
They're very pro, right? In Gloucester and Rockport, and I think Manchester, about spraying everything down.
Yeah, but so hopefully I'm willing to reach out. I mean, I'm hoping to look to reach out with them more, discuss what their measures are further. They recently sent out a press release about kind of updating the public. Hold on, I actually took notes on it right over here. They said that as of Thursday that there's 2 people infected in the town, and the public health nurse has been in contact with them, checking, as it is regulation in the state. And another things within the press release, he was talking about encouraging social distancing, practicing good hygiene, and they also included a bunch of links to mental health resources. I know it's kind of a tense situation we're in right now, so they were providing different avenues on where to alleviate those kinds of stresses. So hopefully this is something I'm trying to expand on for the story that I'm writing with them. So hopefully there'll be something soon coming in the pipeline with that.
Well, let's stay in touch then, and then as time permits, let's try to follow up with you and all the things that the Time staff is working on through this crisis. You guys have been a great resource for us, and any way we can help relay your stories to the community, you just let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Yeah, that'd be great help. Yes. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.